Welcome to this fascinating journey into one of the most important subjects affecting every human being on the earth, the brain health. Your brain is the control center of your entire life. Every memory you cherish, every dream you pursue, every decision you make, every relationship you build, and every challenge you overcome depends on the performance of this incredible organ. Despite representing only about 2% of the body weight, the brain consumes roughly 20% of the body's energy. It is one of the most complex structures known in the universe. Yet many people spend years taking care of their phones, cars, homes, and careers while paying very little attention to the habits that influences the health of their brains. What makes this issue particularly important is that the brain decline rarely happens overnight. Most damage occurs gradually. Small choices repeated every day slowly shapes the cognitive performance. Just as compound interest can build wealth over time, daily habits can either strengthen or weaken the brain over months and years. The encouraging news is that the science continues to reveal something remarkable about the human brain. It is highly adaptable. Researchers uses the term plasticity to describe the brain's ability to reorganize itself, form new connections, and adapt throughout the life. This means your future brain health is not determined solely by the genetics. Your daily behaviors matter tremendously. Today, we will explore 10 common habits that may quietly reduce focus, memory, creativity, emotional stability, and the long term cognitive function. Many of these habits are surprisingly common. In fact, the millions of people engage in them every day without realizing their potential consequences. However, this video is not about the fear, it is about awareness and empowerment. Some people hear discussions about the brain health and immediately become worried. They begin wondering whether every mistake they have ever made has permanently damaged their brain. Fortunately, the answer is usually no. The human brain is incredibly resilient. It can cover, adapt, and improve when given the proper environment. Throughout this video, we will not only identify potentially harmful habits, but also discuss practical solutions supported by the scientific understanding. We will examine controversies, address criticisms, and provide the balanced perspectives. Most importantly, we will focus on the hope. History is filled with the examples of individuals who transformed their life by changing seemingly small habits, better sleep, improved nutrition, regular exercise, stress management, social connection, and lifelong learning have all been associated with significant improvements in the cognitive performance and the quality of life. As you watch this video, I encourage you not to judge yourself harshly. Instead, approach this information with curiosity. Ask yourself simple question. Which one of these habits could I improve? You do not need to change everything today. One small improvement can create momentum. One better decision, repeated consistently, can eventually transform your future. Your brain is the foundation of your success, happiness, relationships, and potential. Protecting it may be one of the most important investments you ever make. Let's begin by examining the first habit quietly affecting the millions of people around the world: chronic sleep deprivation. Imagine trying to operate a sophisticated computer 24 hours a day without ever shutting it down, updating its software, cleaning its memory, or performing the maintenance. Eventually, performance would decline, errors would increase, processing speed would slow down, reliability would suffer. The human brain works in a surprisingly similar way. Sleep is not a luxury, it is not wasted time. It is one of the most important biological processes for maintaining cognitive health. Many people mistakenly believe that sleep is a passive state. In reality, the brain becomes extraordinarily active during the sleep. While the body rests, the brain performs essential maintenance tasks. Memories are organized and consolidated. Information learned throughout the day is being processed. Neural connections are strengthened. Certain waste products accumulated during waking hours are being removed. Scientists have been identified a specialized cleaning system within the brain that becomes particularly active during the sleep. This discovery has dramatically increased appreciation for the importance of high quality rest. Unfortunately, modern lifestyles often encourages sleep deprivation. Many individuals stay awake late into the night scrolling through social media, watching videos, responding to the emails, or working additional hours. Some proudly claim they only need 5 or 4 hours of sleep, while a small percentage of people may function adequately on less sleep due to rare genetic variations. Most adults perform best with approximately 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night. The consequences of insufficient sleep can appear surprisingly quickly. Attention declines, memory weakens, emotional control becomes more difficult, decision making quality decreases, reaction times slow down. Have you ever noticed that problems often seem larger after a poor night's sleep? Challenges that feel overwhelming late at night sometimes appear manageable after the proper rest. This is not an imagination. Sleep directly influences emotional regulation and cognitive processing. Long-term sleep deprivation presents even greater concerns. Research suggests that chronic sleep loss may contribute to the increased stress, reduced learning ability, impaired judgment, and decreased productivity. One interesting controversy involves productivity culture. Some people celebrate sleeping less as a sign of dedication and ambition. However, many high performers eventually discover that sacrificing sleep often reduces overall effectiveness. Working long hours while mentally exhausted frequently produces worse outcomes than working fewer hours with a fully rested brain. The solution is not complicated, although it requires consistency. Establishing a regular sleep schedule, reducing screen exposure before bedtime, limiting caffeine late in the day, and creating a comfortable sleeping environment can significantly improve the sleep quality. Think of sleep as an investment rather than an expense. Every hour of quality sleep helps improve the memory, creativity, focus, emotional stability, and the long term brain health. If there is one habit capable of producing rapid improvements in the mental performance, it may be getting enough restorative sleep. The brain performs some of its most important work while you sleep. Give it the opportunity to do so. Sorry. For the first time in human history, billions of people carry devices capable of delivering unlimited information, entertainment, communication, and stimulation at any moment. This technological revolution has created extraordinary opportunities. We can learn new skills, connect with people across the world, access vast libraries of knowledge, and solve the problems faster than ever before. Yet the same technology that empowers us can also create the challenges for the brain. Many digital platforms are specifically designed to capture and maintain the attention. Notifications, alerts, likes, shares, autoplay videos, and endless scrolling mechanisms continuously encourage the engagement. From a business perspective, attention is valuable. From a neurological perspective, constant stimulation can create unintended consequences. One of the most discussed concerns is attention fragmentation. The brain evolved in the environments very different from today's digital world. Historically, the humans often focused on the task for extended periods. Reading, crafting, hunting, farming, and problem solving frequently required sustained concentration. Modern digital environments, however, encourages rapid attention shifts. A person may check a message, watch a video, read a headline, respond to a notification, and browse the social media within a matter of minutes. Over time, some researchers suggest this pattern may reduce the ability to maintain deep focus. Many people report finding it increasingly difficult to read long books, complete uninterrupted work sessions, or remain fully present during conversations. They feel an urge to check devices even when no notification has appeared. Another challenge involves the information overload. Every day, the average person encounters enormous amounts of information. News, updates, advertisements, emails, videos, social media posts, and messages compete for limited mental resources. The brain must continuously filter, process, and prioritize this information. Eventually, the mental fatigue can develop. Screen use also influences sleep. Bright screens used late at night may interfere with natural sleep signals. Sorry. Even when people physically stop using devices, mental stimulation may continue affecting the ability to relax. However, it is important to approach this topic with balance. Technology itself is not harmful. The internet has democratized education, accelerated innovation, and connected humanity in remarkable ways. The problem is not the technology, it is unintentional use. The healthiest approach is mindful engagement. Consider asking questions such as: am I using technology intentionally or automatically? Is this activity helping me achieve my goals? Am I creating opportunities for focused work and real world relationships? Simple practices can make a significant difference. Turning off unnecessary notifications, scheduling screen free periods, limiting device use before bedtime, and prioritizing meaningful activities can help restore attention and mental clarity. Technology should be one of humanity's greatest tools. The goal is to ensure that we remain in control of the tool rather than allowing the tool to control us. A focused mind is a powerful mind. Protecting your attention may be one of the most valuable investments you can make in the digital age. Stress is an unavoidable part of the life. In fact, the stress itself is not the enemy. Throughout human history, stress helped our ancestors survive dangerous situations. When facing threats, the body released hormones that increased alertness, sharpened focus, and prepared muscles for the action. This response was essential for the survival. The problem arises when stress becomes constant. Modern humans may not frequently encounter predators, but many experiences continuous psychological pressures. Financial concerns, workplace demands, family responsibilities, health worries, social media comparisons, and the non-stop flow of information can keep the brain in a prolonged state of alertness. Unlike the short-term stress, chronic stress provides little opportunity for the recovery. One of the primary hormones involved in the stress response is cortisol. In appropriate amounts, cortisol serves important functions. However, when cortisol remains elevated for extended periods, it may negatively affect the brain function. Researchers have paid particular attention to the areas of the brain associated with the memory, learning, and emotional regulation. Prolonged stress appears capable of influencing how effectively these regions function. Many people notice the effects personally. They may struggle to concentrate, they forget information, they become impatient, emotionally reactive, or mentally exhausted. Tasks that once seemed manageable begin feeling overwhelming. One of the most fascinating discoveries in the neuroscience is that the perception influences stress. Two individuals can face the same challenge yet experience dramatically different stress responses. One sees an opportunity for the growth while the other sees an impossible obstacles. This doesn't mean the stress is imaginary. Rather, it highlights the importance of mindset and coping strategies. A common controversy surrounding the stress involves the idea that all stress is harmful. In reality, the scientists often distinguish between beneficial stress and the harmful stress. Short-term challenges that encourages learning and adaptation can strengthen resilience. Athletes experience physical stress during training. Students experience stress while learning difficult concepts. Entrepreneurs experience stress while building businesses. Growth often requires challenge. The critical factor is recovery. The brain was designed to alternate between effort and restoration. Problems emerge when recovery never occurs. Fortunately, effective stress management does not require eliminating every challenge from the life. Instead, it involves building habits that help the brain recover. Exercise, meditation, deep breathing, quality sleep, gratitude practices, spending time in the nature, and maintaining healthy relationships can all help reduce the harmful effects of chronic stress. Perhaps the most important lesson is stress management is not the weakness, it is brain maintenance. Just as athletes prioritize recovery to improve performance, everyone benefits from creating space for mental restoration. The goal is not a stress free life, the goal is a resilient brain capable of handling life's challenges while maintaining health, focus, and emotional balance. Many people think of exercise primarily as a tool for improving the physical appearances. They associate movement with weight loss, muscle growth, or cardiovascular fitness. What often surprises people is that exercise may be one of the most powerful brain enhancing activities available. The human body evolved for the movement. For most of history, survival required physical activity. Hunting, gathering, farming, building, and traveling demanded a regular movement throughout the day. Modern lifestyles have changed dramatically. Today, millions of people spend large portions of their days sitting. Work is often performed at the desk. Entertainment frequently involves screens. Transportation minimizes physical exertion. As a result, many individuals move far less than previous generations. The brain, however, still benefits enormously from movement. When you exercise, blood flow increases throughout the body, including the brain. This enhanced circulation delivers oxygen and nutrients necessary for optimal neural function. Exercise also stimulates the release of chemicals associated with the mood, learning, and cognitive performance. Researchers have identified numerous mechanisms through which physical activity appears to support brain health. One particularly exciting area of research involves neuroplasticity. Studies suggest that exercise may help encourage the formation of new neural connections. In simple terms, movement helps create an environment that supports learning and adaptation. The cognitive benefits extend beyond the long term health. Many people notice immediate improvements after the exercise. They feel more focused, energized, and mentally clear. Creative solutions often emerge during walks, stress levels decrease, and mood improves. This is not a coincidence. Physical activity influences both body and the mind simultaneously. A common misconception is that meaningful exercise requires expensive equipment or intense workouts. In reality, even moderate activities can provide benefits. Walking, cycling, swimming, dancing, gardening, and recreational sports all contribute positively. One controversy occasionally arises regarding the best form of exercise. Researchers continue debating specific details. However, most agree on a fundamental principle: regular movement is better than inactivity. Consistency matters more than perfection. A 30-minute walk performed regularly may provide greater benefits than an intense workout performed only occasionally. The relationship between physical activity and the brain health highlights an important truth. The brain does not exist independently of the body. Every step you take supports systems that influences cognitive function. Movement is not merely exercise, it is nourished for the brain. The next time you feel mentally stuck, stressed, or fatigued, consider taking a walk. You may discover that one of the simplest tools for improving brain performance has been available all along. Imagine attempting to fuel a high performance sports car with contaminated fuel. Regardless of how advanced the engine may be, performance would eventually suffer. The same principle applies to the human brain. Every thought, memory, emotions, and decision depends upon the nutrients obtained through the food. Although the brain represents only a small percentage of total body weight. It consumes a significant portion of the body's energy supply. This makes nutrition one of the most important factors influencing cognitive performance. Unfortunately, modern food environments often encourage choices that prioritize convenience over nutrition. Highly processed foods are widely available, heavily marketed, and frequently designed to be extremely appealing. Many contain large amounts of added sugars, refined carbohydrates, unhealthy fats, and artificial ingredients. While these foods may provide calories, they do not always provide the nutrients the human brain needs to function optimally. Many people experiences the effects directly. After consuming heavily processed meals, they may feel sluggish, mentally foggy, or less productive. Energy levels fluctuates, concentration becomes more difficult, mood may become less stable. In contrast, the nutrient dense foods provide building blocks essential for the brain health. Vegetables supply vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. Fruits provide beneficial compounds and natural energy sources. Nuts and seeds contain healthy fats associated with the brain function. Fish provides omega-3 fatty acids that play important roles in the neural structure. Quality protein supplies amino acids necessary for neurotransmitter production. One of the most fascinating aspects of nutrition science is that researchers continue learning how food influences the brain. The relationship is complex. Genetics, lifestyle, physical activity, sleep quality, and overall health all interact with dietary choices. This complexity has created controversies. Experts sometimes disagree regarding the ideal diet. Some advocate low carbohydrate approaches, others emphasize plant based eating, still others support Mediterranean style diets. Despite these differences, there is substantial agreement regarding several principles. Most experts recommend emphasizing whole foods, minimizing highly processed products, consuming a variety of nutrient-rich foods, and maintaining balanced eating habits. The goal is not perfection. Many people become discouraged because they believe healthy eating requires eliminating every enjoyable food. In reality, sustainable improvement often comes from gradual changes rather than extreme restrictions. Replacing sugary drinks with water, adding vegetables to the meals, reducing highly processed snacks, and increasing consumption of nutrient rich foods can produce meaningful benefits over time. Think of nutrition as daily communication with your brain. Every meal sends signals. Every food choice influences the environment in which your brain operates. By consistently providing high quality fuel, you help create conditions that support learning, focus, memory, emotional stability, and long term cognitive health. Your brain works tirelessly for you every day. Nutrition is one of the most powerful ways to return the favor. Human beings are among the most social creatures on the earth. Throughout history, survival often dependent on the cooperation. Communities hunted together, built together, protected one another, and shared knowledge across generations. Because of this long evolutionary history, the human brain developed in a social environment. Many people think of relationships primarily in terms of emotional well being. While relationships certainly influence happiness, they also play a significant role in the cognitive health. Every meaningful conversation activates numerous regions of the brain. Communication requires memory, language processing, emotional understanding, attention, and the problem solving. Even simple social interactions challenges the brain in ways that help maintain mental flexibility. However, modern society presents a paradox. People are more digitally connected than ever before, yet many reports feeling increasingly isolated. A person may have hundreds or even thousands of online connections while still experiencing profound loneliness. Researchers have become increasingly interested in the relationship between loneliness and the brain health. Loneliness is not merely a feeling, it can become a chronic source of stress. When people feel disconnected, unsupported, or isolated, the brain may interpret this condition as a threat. Over time, this can contribute to emotional strain and reduced psychological resilience. Numerous studies have explored connections between social engagement and cognitive performance. While researchers continue investigating the exact mechanisms involved, evidence suggests that individuals with strong social connections often experience better emotional health and may maintain cognitive abilities more effectively as they age. One reason may be that relationships continuously stimulate the brain. Friends challenge our ideas, family members encourage emotional growth, colleagues provide intellectual interaction, communities create opportunities for learning and collaboration. The brain benefits from these experiences. An important controversy involves the differences between solitude and isolation. Solitude can be healthy. Many creative breakthroughs, personal reflections, and moments of growth occurs during time spent alone. Solitude becomes valuable when it is chosen and balanced with meaningful connection. Isolation becomes problematic when it is unwanted, prolonged, and accompanied by the feelings of loneliness. Another misconception is that the social health depends on having a large network of people. In reality, the quality often matters more than the quantity. A few trusted friends may provide greater benefits than hundreds of superficial acquaintances. Building meaningful relationships requires effort, vulnerability, and the time, yet the rewards are substantial. Conversations stimulate the mind. Shared experiences create memories. Supportive relationships reduces the stress. Communities provide belonging. If modern life has become increasingly isolated, consider taking small steps towards the connection. Call a friend, join a local group, participate in community activities, spend time with the family members, engage in meaningful conversations. Your brain was designed not only to think but also to connect. The relationships you build today may become some of the most valuable investments in your long term cognitive and emotional well being. In today's fast-paced world, multitasking is often celebrated as a sign of productivity. Job descriptions frequently mention multitasking skills. People proudly describe themselves as excellent multitaskers. Many believe that handling multiple activities simultaneously demonstrates efficiency and competence. However, neuroscience tells a more complicated story. One of the most surprising findings in the cognitive science is that the human brain is not particularly good at performing multiple complex tasks at the same time. Instead, what people most people call multitasking is actually rapid task switching. Imagine trying to write an important report while responding to the messages, checking social media, answering emails, and listening to a podcast. Although it may feel like several tasks are occurring simultaneously, the brain is actually shifting attention back and forth. Each shift comes with a cost. Researchers refer to this as switching cost. Every time attention moves from one task to another, the brain requires additional energy to reorient itself. This process may seem insignificant, but repeated hundreds of times throughout the day, the effects accumulate. People often experience reduced productivity, increased mental fatigue, and more frequent errors. One reason deep work is so powerful is that uninterrupted focus allows the brain to fully engage with the problem. During periods of concentration, neural networks can work together more effectively. Complex ideas become easier to understand, creative insights emerge, learning improves. Unfortunately, the modern technology encourages constant interruption. Notifications arrive throughout the day. Emails demand immediate attention. Social media competes for the focus. Messages appear continuously. As a result, many people rarely experience extended periods of uninterrupted concentration. A fascinating controversy surrounds multitasking itself. Simple tasks can sometimes be performed simultaneously. For example, walking while having a conversation is usually manageable. The problem arises when multiple activities require significant cognitive resources. Writing while analyzing the data, studying while watching the videos, reading while constantly checking the notifications. These combinations often reduce effectiveness. Another hidden cost of multitasking is the stress. When attention becomes fragmented, people frequently feel busy without feeling productive. Task remains unfinished, mental clutter accumulates, cognitive fatigue increases. The solution is not necessarily doing less. The solution is often doing one thing at a time. Many high performance performers intentionally create distraction-free environments. They schedule focused work sessions, silence unnecessary notifications, and dedicate specific periods to important tasks. This approach allows the brain to operate at its highest potential. Think of attention as a valuable resource. Where attention goes, the energy follows. Where energy goes, the results emerge. In an age of constant distraction, the ability to focus may become one of the most valuable cognitive skills a person can develop. Protect your attention, your brain will reward you for it. Every day, thousands of thoughts pass through the human mind. Some thoughts inspire action, some create hope, some solve the problems, others generate worry, fear, frustration, or the self doubt. The remarkable thing about the brain is that repeated thoughts can gradually influence neural pathways. In simple terms, the more frequently certain patterns of thinking occurs, the stronger those patterns may become. This principle does not mean that a single negative thought damages the brain. Negative emotions are normal and necessary parts of human experience. Fear can protect us from danger. Concern can motivate preparation. Sadness can help process loss. The challenge arises when negative thinking becomes habitual. Many people spend significant amounts of time replaying past mistakes, imagining worst case scenarios, dwelling on perceived failures, or focusing exclusively on the problems. Psychologists often refer to this pattern as rumination. Rumination differs from productive problem solving. Problem solving seeks solutions. Rumination repeatedly circles the same concerns without meaningful progress. Over time, persistent negative thinking can contribute to the increased stress, emotional exhaustion, and reduced resilience. One of the most powerful discoveries in the modern psychology is that attention influences experience. What we repeatedly focus on often becomes more prominent in our awareness. A person constantly searching for the problems may find them everywhere. A person searching for opportunities may discover possibilities others overlook. This doesn't mean positive thinking magically eliminates the challenges. That is a common misunderstanding. Healthy optimism is not the denial. Healthy optimism acknowledges reality while maintaining the confidence that solutions can be found. Consider some of history's greatest innovators, explorers, scientists, and the leaders. They faced setbacks, failures, and criticism. What often distinguished them was not the absence of difficulty, but their ability to maintain constructive perspectives despite adversity. A controversy sometimes arises regarding the positive thinking. Critics argue that excessive positivity can become unrealistic or dismissive of genuine problems. This criticism has merit. Blind optimism can be dangerous. The healthiest approach combines realism with the hope. Recognize challenges honestly. Evaluate risk objectively. Then focus attention on the actions, solutions, and the growth. Practices such as gratitude journaling, mindfulness, meditation, reflective writing, and constructive self talk can help cultivate healthier mental habits. Gratitude is particularly interesting. Research suggests that regularly reflecting on positive aspects of life may improve emotional well being and resilience. Gratitude shifts attention towards resources, opportunities, relationships, and accomplishments that might otherwise be overlooked. The goal is not to eliminate negative thoughts entirely. The goal is to prevent negative thoughts from becoming the dominant operating system of the mind. Your thoughts shape your perceptions. Your perceptions influence your actions. Your actions shape your future. A healthy brain benefits from healthy thinking. Choose thoughts that help you grow, learn, and move forward. Imagine purchasing the world's most advanced computer, then using it only for the basic calculations. Most of its capabilities would remain untapped, while the machine would still function. Its extraordinary potential would never be fully utilized. In many ways, the same principle applies to the human brain. The brain thrives on challenge. It was designed to learn, adapt, solve problems, explore new ideas, and continuously evolve. Throughout human history, survival often depended on curiosity and innovation. Our ancestors learned how to build tools, navigate landscapes, grow food, communicate through language, and eventually create civilizations. The brain developed under conditions that demanded continuous learning. Today, however, many people unintentionally place their minds on autopilot. Daily routines become predictable. The same routes are traveled. The same activities are repeated. Entertainment becomes passive. Learning slows. Curiosity declines. While routine provides comfort and efficiency, excessive routine may limit cognitive stimulation. Neuroscientists frequently discuss the concept of neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to create and strengthen neural connections throughout the life. Every time you learn something new, your brain adapts. New pathways form, existing networks become stronger, cognitive flexibility improves. This process does not stop when formal education ends. One of the greatest myths about intelligence is that learning belongs primarily to the young people. In reality, the brain remains capable of growth throughout the life. Adults can learn languages, acquire professional skills, play musical instruments, master technologies, and develop entirely new areas of expertise. Research consistently suggests that mentally stimulating activities contribute positively to the cognitive health. Reading challenging books, solving puzzles, learning new skills, engaging in the creative projects, studying history, exploring the science, and participating in intellectually demanding conversations all encourages the mental activity. An interesting controversy in the cognitive science involves so-called brain training programs. Some companies claim that specific games dramatically improve intelligence. Researchers continue debating the extent of these benefits. However, there is broad agreement regarding a fundamental principle. Meaningful learning and intellectual engagement are valuable. The key word is meaningful. Learning a new language requires memory, attention, and problem solving. Learning a musical instrument combines physical coordination with mental processing. Studying a new subject challenges existing knowledge and expands understanding. These activities stimulate the brain in ways that passive entertainment often cannot. Curiosity may be one of humanity's greatest cognitive advantages. Curious individuals continuously expose themselves to the new ideas, perspectives, and experiences. They ask questions, they seek understanding, they remain mentally active. History's greatest innovators shared one common characteristics. They never stopped learning. Albert Einstein remained curious throughout his life. Leonardo da Vinci filled notebooks with observations and the questions. Many successful entrepreneurs, scientists, and creators maintain lifelong learning habits. The lesson is simple: never allow your brain to become stagnant. Read something challenging, learn a skill, explore a subject you have never studied before, ask questions, remain curious. Every new piece of knowledge becomes an investment in your cognitive future. The brain grows stronger when it is being challenged. Feed it curiosity, and it will continue rewarding you for years to come. For many years, physical health received far more attention than the mental health. People openly discussed broken bones, infections, heart disease, and physical injuries. Yet conversations about the emotional struggles, anxiety, depression, stress, and psychological well-being were often avoided. Fortunately, attitudes are changing. Scientists now understand that mental health and brain health are deeply interconnected. One cannot truly separate the two. The brain is the organ responsible for emotions, thoughts, decision making, motivation, memory, and the behavior. When mental health suffers, cognitive performance often suffers as well. Consider what happens when someone experiences chronic anxiety. Their mind may become preoccupied with worries and fears. Sleep quality declines. Decision making may become more challenging. Emotional exhaustion can reduce motivation and productivity. Similarly, depression can affect attention, memory, energy levels, and the ability to experience enjoyment or motivation. These effects are not the sign of weakness, they are real experiences involving complex biological, psychological, and environmental factors. One of the most damaging habits people develop is ignoring mental health challenges. Many individuals convince themselves that problems will simply disappear if they are ignored. Others fear judgment. Some believe asking for help reflects the weakness. In reality, recognizing a problem is often the first step towards improvement. Imagine ignoring a warning light on your car's dashboard for the months. The underlying issue would likely become worse. Mental health operates similarly. Early awareness often allows for earlier intervention and better outcomes. A major controversy in discussions about the mental health involves the balance between medical and lifestyle approaches. Some experts emphasize therapy and professional support. Others focus heavily on the lifestyle factors such as sleep, exercise, nutrition, social connection, and stress management. The truth is that both perspectives often have value. Mental health is rarely influenced by a single factor. Biology matters, environment matters, relationships matter, habits matter, professional support matters. One approach does not necessarily exclude the other. Perhaps the most important message is that seeking support demonstrates strength rather than weakness. Strong people ask questions, strong people learn, strong people seek solutions, strong people recognize when additional support may be beneficial. Just as athletes work with coaches and students learn from teachers, individuals facing mental health challenges may benefit from guidance and assistance. There is also a positive dimension to the mental health that deserves attention. Mental health is not merely the absence of illness, it includes resilience, emotional balance, purpose, gratitude, optimism, and meaningful relationships. Building these qualities can help strengthen both emotional well-being and cognitive performance. Your brain works continuously on your behalf. It helps you navigate challenges, pursue goals, and build relationships. Caring for your mental health is one of the most important ways to care for your brain. Never hesitate to prioritize it. Your future self will benefit from the investment. As we reach the final section of this video, it is important to address an important question. Have scientists Health experts, content creators, and media organizations sometimes overstated the dangers to brain health. It's a fair question. In today's information driven world, dramatic headlines attract attention. We often see phrases such as, "This habit is destroying your brain is under attack. Never do this if you want to stay mentally sharp." Scientists warn of irreversible damage. These statements are powerful because they trigger emotional reactions. They create urgency. They encourage people to click, watch, read, and share. However, science is usually more nuanced than headlines suggest. The truth is that the human brain is remarkably resilient. Throughout history, people have survived wars, famines, illnesses, personal tragedies, and extreme hardships. Despite these challenges, countless individuals have demonstrated extraordinary adaptability, creativity, and the recovery. This resilience should not be underestimated. A single night of poor sleep does not destroy your brain. One stressful week does not permanently damage your brain. One unhealthy meal does not ruin your cognitive future. A few hours spent scrolling social media do not erase years of healthy living. Human biology is far more robust than that. The real concern involves patterns. Scientists are generally less interested in isolated incidents and more interested in long term habits. Think about the financial wealth. One small purchase rarely creates financial ruin. However, repeated poor financial decisions over many years can significantly affect future outcomes. Brain health often works similarly. Small choices repeated consistently can either strengthen cognitive function or gradually weaken it. This distinction is critical because it changes the conversation from fear to the responsibility. Instead of asking, "Did I damage my brain today?" a more useful question becomes, "What direction are my habits moving me towards?" Another controversy involves individual differences. No two brains are exactly alike. Genetics influence cognitive performance. Lifestyle influences cognitive performance. Environmental influences cognitive performance. Education, even personality traits influences cognitive performance. Some individuals remain mentally sharp despite habits that would negatively affect others. Others may be more sensitive to the stress, sleep deprivation, or poor nutrition. This variability makes brain science incredibly complex. Researchers must study large populations to identify patterns and probabilities rather than absolute guarantees. Another criticism occasionally raised is that modern society sometimes pathologies normal human experiences. People become worried about every distraction. Every forgotten name becomes a source of concern. Every stressful day feels like a sign of decline. This mindset can create unnecessary anxiety. The goal of understanding brain health is not to become obsessed with optimization. The goal is to make informed decisions. There is also a growing debate about the technology. Some experts argue that smartphones are harming attention spans. Others point out that technology has dramatically expanded access to education, information, and communication. Both perspectives contain the truth. Technology can become a source of distraction. Technology can also become a powerful learning tool. The determining factor is often how it is used. Similarly, social media can create comparison and anxiety. It can also foster community and connection. Nutrition debates follow a similar pattern. Experts disagree about specific diets, yet they generally agree that balanced, nutrient rich eating supports health. Exercise researchers debate training methods. The fundamentals are surprisingly consistent: good sleep, regular movement, healthy nutrition, stress management, social connection, lifelong learning, purposeful living. These habits repeatedly appears in the scientific discussions about cognitive well-being. Perhaps the most important takeaway is brain health is not about perfection. Perfection is impossible. Every human being experiences stress. Every human being makes mistakes. Every human being occasionally develops unhealthy habits. The objective is progress, not the perfection. A brain protected by years of healthy habits is remarkably adaptable. Your future brain health is not determined by yesterday, it is shaped by the choices you make today. As we conclude this journey through the habits that may quietly affect brain health, I would like to leave you with a message that is perhaps even more important than all the science we have discussed. That message is hope. The human brain is one of the most extraordinary creations in existence. It allows us to imagine futures that do not yet exist. It allows us to remember the past. It allows us to solve problems, build relationships, create art, develop technology, explore space, and understand the universe. Everything humanity has ever achieved began inside a human mind. Yet, we often take this incredible gift for granted. We become so focused on daily responsibilities that we rarely stop to appreciate the remarkable organ working continuously on our behalf. At this very moment, your brain is processing information, interpreting language, storing memories, regulating emotions, controlling movement, and helping you understand these ideas. It never truly stops working, and despite all the challenges it faces, it continues serving you every day. Throughout this video, we examined habits that may weaken cognitive performance. We discussed sleep deprivation, excessive screen time, chronic stress, physical inactivity, poor nutrition, social isolation, multitasking, negative thinking, lack of mental challenge, ignoring the mental health. Each of these habits has the potential to influence the brain over time, but none of them defines your future. That is the key message. Your future is not determined by the mistakes you made yesterday. It is shaped by the habits you choose tomorrow. This is where neuroplasticity becomes so inspiring. The brain is not fixed, it changes, it adapts, it learns. New neural pathways can form, old patterns can be replaced, skills can be developed, behaviors can improve. People often underestimate the power of small actions. A single healthy meal seems insignificant. One good night's sleep seems insignificant. One walk, one conversation, one page read in a book seems insignificant. Yet, when repeated consistently, these actions becomes habits. Habits become lifestyle, and the lifestyle shapes the future. Many of the world's most successful individuals did not transform their life overnight. They improved gradually. They focused on small, repeatable behaviors. They build momentum. The same principle applies to the brain health. You do not need to change everything today. In fact, trying to change everything at once often leads to frustration. Instead, choose one habit. Perhaps improve your sleep. Perhaps reduce screen time. Perhaps begin walking daily. Perhaps reconnect with a friend. Perhaps start reading again. That accumulation creates transformation. I would also like to express gratitude to the scientists, researchers, physicians, psychologists, educators, and innovators whose work continues expanding our understanding of the human brain. Their efforts help millions of people live healthier, more fulfilling life. Knowledge is one of humanity's greatest gifts, and every generation benefits from those who dedicate themselves to the discovery. Most importantly, I encourage you to appreciate your own potential. The human brain is not merely an organ, it is the foundation of your dreams, it is the source of your creativity, it is the instrument through which you experience life itself. Protect it, challenge it, nourish it, rest it, train it, and never stop learning. Because one of the most beautiful truths about the human brain is no matter how much you know today, your capacity to do grow tomorrow remains extraordinary. Thank you for spending this time exploring one of the most important topics in the human health. May you leave this video with greater awareness, greater appreciation, and greater confidence in your ability to build a healthier future. Your brain has carried you this far. Take care of it, and it will help carry you even farther.